Hey y'all, it's Carrie Shepherd tuning in from Austin, Texas today. And I wanted to talk about something that I think could be a little bit controversial. So, I want to talk about this idea of self-made success. And I'd really love to hear from you what do you believe? Do you believe there's such a thing as self-made success? And I'm going to share with you why I believe self-made success is a big fat lie. So I'm really excited to dive into this. If you think you have some people on your page, or maybe you want to personally invite somebody to join the conversation and chat with us about it, I would love it if you hit that share button. And of course, let me know who you are and where you're tuning in from. So let me just share this out myself, and then we're going to dive in. I can't multitask apparently. That's another lie, that multitasking is more efficient. It really just means doing two things poorly at the same time. So I am going to give you all of my attention just now. All right. So in case this is our first time meeting, let me just tell you who I am. My name again is Carrie Shepherd, and I'm a business and sales strategist for online entrepreneurs. And I believe in helping my clients make more money, attract more clients, all while doing it with less stress and less overwhelm. I'm all about simple, and I'm all about putting the right systems, structures, and even sales funnels in place to support you in your success. And so, again, as you're popping on, please let me know who you are and where you're watching from. I would love to say hello and want to talk a little bit about this idea of self-made success. So I have seen, I've seen it on t-shirts. I've seen it, hashtag, self-made millionaire, self-made, success, fill in the blank, whatever else you want to add to self-made, right? And here's the deal. Nobody is self-made. Nobody is doing this thing called life, let alone this thing called business, on their own. It's a huge, big, fat lie. And I think it's really detrimental to other people that are looking to somebody that has achieved some sort of success. So they're looking at somebody that's achieved success that they desire. So that, again, could be in life, it could be in parenting, it could be in a romantic relationship, and especially in business. And so let me know, what do you think? Do you believe self-made success exists? Do you believe it's possible? And, definitely would love to hear from you, because, I'm not the end all be all, but I definitely have my opinion about it, and I love to hear others. But here's the thing, you can start out from birth. And, we didn't learn to walk by ourselves. We didn't learn to talk by ourselves. We didn't learn to use a fork by ourselves, right? Somebody, hopefully it was a parent, a loving, supportive, guiding parent, was helping you. Maybe it was a teacher or a mentor or an aunt or an uncle or a godmother, or, somebody in your life helped you learn these very basic skills, right? You didn't know how to drink out of a straw. You didn't know how to write. You didn't know how to write your ABCs. School is a perfect example of, where we look at the fact that we have to go in front of somebody else to learn these skill sets. And so, what I think is so interesting is, why do we think when we get into business, we are going to do this on our own? Why do we think that it's all about us and we know all the answers and we're going to figure this thing out by ourselves? And I'm going to tell you what, I am 100% guilty of this. Not always, not all the time, but from time to time, I feel like I've got it. I know what I should be doing, and I'm going to go after it, right? I'm going to go after it. I'm going to do it on my own. I've learned the skill set, so I've learned how to ride the bike. And now I'm going to go ride the bike by myself. And every single time I am reflecting back on, I can't do it alone. None of us can do it alone. I need somebody to help hold me accountable. I need somebody to, be my eyes to see where I'm making that mistake, where I'm not seeing something, and to be able to support and guide me along the way. And so, this idea of self-made success, I think about like the Academy Awards, right? When somebody gets up on the stage to accept their award, whatever it looks like, usually they have like what, 90 seconds to, say thank you, because if not, most of them would probably go on for like 10 or 20 minutes, but they're thanking all these people, right? They're thanking their family, they're thanking their executive producers and the videographers and the directors and da 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 da. So why do we think it's any different when we start to look at our own success? I talk to women all the time that are piecemealing their business together. They're trying to do it on the cheap or the free. They've got all these ideas, they're spinning in their head, and they haven't launched, or they've launched, again, kind of piecemealed it together. They're kind of out there, but they're not showing up consistently. They're not doing, the right thing. So which leads to overwhelm, which leads to your wheels spinning and really being tired and working all the time. This is where the idea of hustle really gets me fired up. And that's probably a whole nother conversation. But if you're hustling on the wrong things, if you're hustling and you feel like you're doing stuff all day long and you're on Facebook and maybe you're doing videos or maybe you're doing emails, but you don't actually have the right systems and structures in place, if you don't have the right mindset, if you don't know what it is that you should be doing for you, for your specific business, for your specific passion and purpose, what's the point? Right? You're going to elongate the cycle. Now, could you potentially get there? Could you get to where you want to be? I don't know, maybe, but how long is it going to take you? How long is it going to take to get you to where you want to be? Whereas if you just raised your hand and you said, you know what? I cannot do this on my own. I cannot see the forest through the trees through the forest, whichever that one is. And I am going to be willing to accept the guidance. And that's what I think is so interesting in specifically the online space. There is so much information out there. There's so much information with, free content, live videos like this, blog posts, podcasts, webinars, trainings, videos. There's so many areas that we can be downloading all this information, and we can think that we are, working on our business. We're, educating our mind, which I am totally a proponent of. I talk a lot about the morning routine and really focusing on body, mind, spirit. And, all of that is important. But if that is your guidance and that's your sole guidance, something is amiss. You're missing something in that wheel. And what's going to happen is it's kind of like driving or getting on a plane and not knowing exactly, how to get there, right? So I could drive from Texas to Chicago, but if I start heading east, I'm going to end up in Florida. And then maybe I start heading north. And this could take me weeks to get to Chicago. But, if I ask for help and I pull out a map or I get out my handy dandy GPS system, and it's going to lay out exactly the steps that I need to take to get there. And yes, maybe I might want to, venture off into Tennessee and, spend a few days there. And then I want to venture off here. But the map is going to continue to give me the shortest direction from A to B. And I think that's what's really important, because there's not one way to get to Chicago, right? There's not just one way. There's 152 ways to get to Chicago. But when somebody understands your goals, when somebody understands, okay, hey, I want to stop in Tennessee, I want to stop in, I don't know, wherever, along the way, these are the things that I want to do. Here's my vision. Here's when I want to get there. Say you want to get to Chicago in 2 weeks, then we're going to help you create that map, and I'm going to help you walk along the way every step. Now, I'm not going to, that's not my zone of genius, but just as an example. So let me know if this is connecting with you. Let me know if This is kind of showing you, I wanted to give you an example of what it really looks like to, not think that it's all about you. And I think that's what it really boils down to. We can think about getting support in a lot of different ways. So what I've been talking about mostly has been, through a coach, through a mentor. But what about the other pieces of support in your life, i.e. your family, your friends? Do you have a team? Do you have an assistant? Do you have a designer? Do you have who are the different people on your team that are also helping support you? For me, it is definitely a spiritual component. And, I definitely rely on God to, direct me and show me where I'm supposed to go and, lay out those steps. So when you think about being a self-made success, or when you think about getting to the success that you want, really look at what is your support system that is surrounding you. And if you don't have those pieces in place, that might be a point of your frustration, your overwhelm, being tired, not having enough people to help you. And maybe that is, hiring somebody to help you pick up your kids, or maybe that's hiring somebody to clean your house or cook your meals, or maybe it's hiring somebody, a coach, a mentor, a guide, to really help you lay out those steps, to really build that roadmap to where you want to go. And, even creating the vision about exactly where it is you want to go. Because sometimes, we have this huge vision. And I was at an event with Alex Shafran, I think is how you say it, last night. And I posted the video on my business page. So if you want to watch it, I highly suggest checking it out. It's probably right below, or maybe two below this video. And he was really talking about transactional versus transformational leadership. And what it really kind of sparked in me is that it is important to delegate, but how are you delegating? Are you bringing somebody into the fold of your business and really, showing them the outcome that you desire? And one of the things that I love this visual. So he talks about, okay, most people can think about, okay, before I die, this is what I want to have created. This is the life I want to have lived. And then you reverse to where you are right now, and you start thinking about, okay, what are the things that I need to do to create that result? And how overwhelming is that to think about everything you have to do to create the results at the end of your life? And I just loved, how he talks about that, because he talks about how there's so much friction and so much resistance against that it lowers that ability to really be able to move forward. So hopefully that makes sense. But again, make sure and check that video out. But again, it's just about really, looking forward, but not looking so much, so far into the distance, that you get overwhelmed. So if you're not even making $10,000 right now, we don't want to think about or talk about creating $1 million business in the next 90 days. Let's really break it out. And I think, right now when we're sitting at, October 27th, super crazy that it's almost November, which is going to leave us obviously with only 2 months left in 2016. You really want to start to think about, what are the things that I need to shift and change? What are the things that I need to do differently to create different results? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And so if you want different results, you've got to take different actions. And, it's super hard to just stay up in our head and, in our four walls and try to figure out what to do next. It's so important that we reach out and we have connection, and that we have somebody that we can really, really rely on for that support and that guidance. And so, as I'm wrapping it up, again, I don't believe that self-made success exists. I think it's a big fat lie. And anybody that's talking about that is missing the point. They're being self-centered because they're not appreciating what has helped them get to where they're at. And again, that can be, much further out than just a coach or a mentor. It's family, it's, parents, it's friends, it is those things that we listen to, the books, the podcast, the the webinars and things like that. That all is making a difference in shifting and changing the things that you do. So again, don't be so focused on, where you want to be when you end your life. Let's back it up a few steps and really start to think about, how do we get from Texas to Chicago? How do we get from point A to point B? What are the things that I need to put in place? And when you really start to think about it, it's the systems and the structures, and most importantly, the sales funnels that are going to help you really feel supported, so that you're not spinning your wheels, that you're not in that overwhelm, and that you're able to really live your life and, live your purpose without the stress and anxiety and overwhelm. So that's what I have for you today. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I would love for you to let me know in the comments if you agree, if you disagree, if you have another opinion. I would love to hear it. And as always, if this has made a difference for you, I would love it if you hit that share button and share it out to your peeps. I would be forever grateful, and it helps me to know that what I'm doing on showing up for live video and teaching and training and sharing with you my journey is making a difference, because that's really what it's all about. So hope y'all have a great day, and I will see you back here again hopefully tomorrow. Bye for now.